Are you impressed with what you've seen so far, the freshmen? Not only the early enrolling.
Really just love our guys. It's a pleasure to get up, come in here, go to work every day. You know, we got Aubrey in, we got Luigi in, you know. A couple other guys arrived this weekend, so, you know, then we'll have everybody in, so we're excited.
What is it that you like about them?
They're just good people, you know. You know, sometimes as a coach, you got to work on the social side with the guys to get them, you know, just to kind of, so they formulate a way that they should go about doing their business. These guys, it's unbelievable. Now, you know, I also think this, you know, Rashan Gary's not going to let him do anything. I mean, he runs the show up there. So, you know, here's a young guy that had older guys, that the older guys are now gone, and he's the older guy. In essence, him and Mo Hurst, you know, they take care of business. So, you know, and those two guys know that these guys need to help us, flat out. I mean, they know that. So,
is that unique to have a guy that's a true sophomore take over the leadership role?
Not only is he a great player, he's really a tremendous young man to be around. Every single day, he's the same. I mean, I marvel how he carries himself on a day-to-day basis.
Do you have any examples of stuff you've seen him just do today?
Well, you know, he worked the camp with us today. We had a nice camp. And just the way he treats the campers, you know, in instruction, you know, he's one-on-one, you know. There's no air, you know, he's a humble guy, you know. Guys that have kind of been through what he's been through in the recruiting, so you guys know.
Right.
I mean, sometimes that's, you gotta pop their head back down and get them re-humble, you know, and he's just not one of those guys. You know, he just goes about his business every day. But the way he treated people today was special.
Physically, we know about his talents. I mean, how good do you think he can be just this
Best
year?
I've ever seen. Just running around, best I've ever seen. The sky's the limit. It's, you know, the good thing is I think he understands that, you know, there's a lot on his shoulders, and, you know, he's got Coach Madison every day, you know. It's all good.
Best you've ever seen at that position?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Combining speed, strength, change of direction, and the mental curve. It's unbelievable.
And when you're talking about Mo and Rashan, are you saying they're leading the whole defense or just their group?
Well, you know, in particular, I was talking about providing leadership to those young guys.
All across the board.
Yeah, but you know, let me tell you, I saw that in the spring. You know, and that was the whole group. I mean, it's not like, you know, I mean, we've got Mike McRae, second-level guy. He works with the backers. You know, Devin Bush thinks he's a, you know, grizzled veteran now. He's still a freshman, but, you know, he thinks he's a grizzled veteran. Robo's been Robo. You know, I just like the way that whole makeup is kind of going, you know. Noah Furbush, really, really good. And then on the back end, I think Tyree Cannell's done a nice job providing leadership, and he's it. The rest of them are young, but extremely talented. So,
to that end, how much do you anticipate that they'll be able to, especially being young, to come in and perform at the high levels that they're expected to this season?
Well, you know, that remains to be seen. You know, they haven't been in a real game with the bullets flying. You know, and I'm saying you're playing a different colored jersey. We just had the spring game, but watching those guys go to practice, we had really, you know, 12 plus counting the Rome experience. I'm pretty excited. Now we just got to get through the curve of playing in a game and not just playing, don't get excited about playing in the game. Let's play well in the game because they're all capable of playing extremely well. They really are.
Transition for those guys, but what about the transition for Drake Harris? Your thoughts on his move?
Oh, it's a shot in the arm, and probably a shot in the arm for him. Gives us another, athlete to work with who, in my opinion, kind of gives you that. He's kind of a cross between Stribling and Jeremy Clark. He's not as big and physical as Jeremy Clark, and he's kind of that string beanie. Length is your best friend, like Strib. So now we just got to see how he functions and how he accepts the one-on-one challenge. Because as you guys know, you don't accept the one-on-one challenge here, you can't play. You got to come stand next to me because you have to. I mean, it's got to be in your DNA. You've got to want to do that.
We talked a little bit about that top group of defensive linemen. How did the backups progress in the spring? They're guys who are just a play away from being in there.
I think they all progressed, but it's 12 really practices. That's not enough. When they come back, ask me the same question at the end of August. I'll give you a great answer. Because then you'll know. Because they'll have heard it all again in August. Now, if the learning, if the arrow's not pointing up, now I start to get a little nervous. It's too early for the arrow to just... Now, minutes, Donovan Jeter had good minutes. I think he's going to be a really interesting player. I hate to even pick them out because it's unfair. We had Ben Mason. Now Ben Mason's, on the other side. So.
But you took Brad Hawkins.
Hey, I woke up and, boom, 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 and I'm reading. I'm like, I recruited him. What are you talking about? Oh, God.
Boss
So
you under
did
the
you,
bus.
are you
Boss you under
denying
the bus.
I'm going to deny it. A couple things were said. I can't deny that. But no, I mean, he's another real interesting guy.
You mentioned Jeter. Is he at the anchor spot, or is he going to be bulk up into a 3 technique, or what? I mean, where do you see him?
180 pounds. Just happening, You never know. That's the real interesting scenario. Is you give them a couple cheeseburgers, you just don't know where guys go. So, not that it's bad nutrition or this and that. It just some guys just they get bigger, And the nice thing is, I think there's enough there. That'll be interesting. I thought Carlo did some good things at times in the spring as well. So, obviously Chase has, done some good things. Ruben did a few good things. He continues to, at least moves. The thing about him is, you just get. He's gonna play hard all the time. I mean, he's just gonna play hard all the time. And now with Luigi and Quiddy coming in, we feel like that'll give us some depth, and those guys can run.
Is Lawrence Marshall taken to playing on the inside?
I think so. He's one of those guys. He's a perfect example. It's not a big enough sample to say he's going to be here. I'll be able to tell you a lot more after August. But I will say this. The arrow was swinging up, at the end of spring, in a very, very positive. If anybody can get him to get right, Greg Madison will get him right. So.
Was it tough to lose Ben? And is Jared moving over offense too?
You have to check with Coach on that one. Ben, yeah, shoot. strongest guy on the team. You know, a tough guy. But if you ask me, I wouldn't want to face him in the B gap, coming at me at 60 miles an hour at 247 pounds. So, is that good for our team? I think it's very good for our team. I think Coach hit it on the head and said, "What's the best for our team?"
You didn't arm wrestle for him?
No. No. That's his decision. So.
You mentioned Devin Bush not quite being maybe as mature as you'd like him to be. What have you seen out of him, and what do you expect from him?
You know what's funny? I said to him today, I said, "Yeah, hey, you're going to be nervous now, August. You're going to, ooh, go." I go, "I know, not your deal. Because I've been around it enough now. I've been around you enough. I'm good." And he is, you know. And again, I don't know if you guys know this, but, you know, he played Mike, and he played Will. And now he played Will for us, you know, all year, a year ago. And now we've kind of given him that swing deal. Is that fair? Probably not. Anytime you ask a guy to swing. But, you know, I'm looking at it like I got those three guys. I think if you twisted my arm today, I'd say those three guys I can put in the game. And they'll be fine. Or I can go Robo in, first, second down, put Devin in, pull Robo out. And he can go over, give Mike a blow where we didn't really have that a year ago. So, I mean, there were times last year I'd be like, "Oh my God, Mike, get up. Get up, Mike." So it's nice to have, I think we're developing depth. I see Devin Gill, Mbase, you know, I see those guys, you know, starting to develop some depth. I got Robo, I got Devin, I got Mike. You know, we got the three pups coming in here. Kind of anxious to get my hands on those three guys. So, you know, Jordan Anthony will be interesting. Josh Ross will be interesting. Drew, you know.
You have an idea which linebacker spots you're going to put them at?
Oh yeah.
That you can share?
You can tell?
But you'll see. I'll tell you in August, because whatever you speculate now, then you get in the first week of August, you go, "Hey, you go over there, you go over there." Because you go, you're a dummy. We'll put him there, he moves better there, he understands playing in the box better, so we'll let it all filter out.
Do you do anything different defensively with Kalik in there as opposed to Jabril, given that, I mean, Jabril was such a special athlete? Is there adjustments that have to be made?
You know, Jabril was unbelievable. You know, and I think I told you guys this before. I get emails every day, "Hey, the next Jabril Peppers." No, he's not. There's only one of those. But we think we got two pretty reliable guys. Now, Kalik was a safety. Could easily go back and function there. But, you know, we think he's settled in there really well. With Glasgow, it's not as clear cut. He's the backup Viper, who's doing extremely well there, but he can also jump back and play safety, as he did in, you know, spring game. And, you know, we're kind of thinking about that, keeping him, having that flexibility to do that with him. And now Brad Hawkins comes into the strong safety deal with Metellus and Jalen Kelly-Powell. You know, that really was a boost.
Is not having as much experience at Viper an opportunity for Noah Furbush to be on the field more?
Yes. And just Noah's deserved more time. And, you know, you watch, we're going to do some interesting things with old Noah as we move forward. I'm just telling you that.
What are they? Go ahead. What are they?
I tell you, I got to take you out right here.
You mentioned Josh Metellus. It seemed like he had an outstanding spring.
Yes. You know, there's a couple things. I think he got a little banged up. You know, I'd like to see him do a little better job on the dig ball. But I thought he had just mentally, you know, he's one of those guys that all fall, you know, his eyeballs are like this, especially around me. He probably thought I was crazy. But now, you know, he's completely calm, confident, knows it, you know. See, and that's the piece. Okay, you lose good players, which is, you know, that's the evolution of what we go through in this profession. But we're now second year in the same system, which is a huge benefit. I mean, and everybody says, well, you lost 11 starters, 10 starters, whatever. Wait a minute. Rashan Gary played all the time. Mo Hurst played all the time. Brian Monet played all the time. Chase Winovich played all the time. Mike McRae, Devin Bush. Noah played a bunch. Secondary-wise, okay, I get it. Cannell played. Josh started in probably the, you know, it's just the Orange Bowl, nothing to get shook about. And trust me, outside of a play or two, was very functional. Made a bunch of plays, you know. So I think, I'm not as nervous about that piece. You know, I just think we have a fun group that loves football, and that usually lends to success.
What's your relationship with Brandon Collier like?
You know, he's a great guy. You know, played for me at UMass, was my 3 technique. Was probably this tall. Maybe he's a little taller now. Ran an 11 flat 100 meters, so I signed him at 3 technique. So he played on, you know, the team that played App State in the national championship game. You know, for all those guys here that, you know, you got to love guys like that, because he's trying to do something that's so right for young people. And football in Europe is, you know, I think it's on the upswing. You know, it kind of goes like this. You know what I mean? It looks like it's taken off, and then it takes off again. You know, but he's done a good job with it. You know, he's bringing these guys all over the place. That's a beautiful thing.
They're just not as big as we are, generally speaking, over there in Europe. I mean, I was in Denmark, and they love college, but they're just slight. They're very slight people.
Yeah, you know, I can't speak on that, but
they are. I mean,
that's probably not unfair. I really don't know. You know, I mean, I thought we were pretty well received, but not overly attended now. I mean, we didn't draw. Did you think? But, you know, I thought...
It's still a novelty in some areas, I think.
Yeah, I think so. You know, so... It's all good.
Last thing on Rashan, real quick. Why can a guy who's that young, why can he talk to an older guy and the older guy listens to him? I mean, it's not, there's no resentment. But I saw that a lot at practice.
And I'll tell you why. Because they know he works his tail off. You know, if you're a big mouth and you don't work very hard, then guys aren't going to take you very serious. But when they see how hard he works, and then he says something that, and usually when he opens his mouth, it's with purpose. I can't think of anything where he's just, you know, I'm gonna, you know, rough this guy up just because I feel like roughing him up. You know, and to be honest, when leadership comes from within, you have a real chance. You know, so that whole pronged deal now. You know, with organization comes success. With success comes confidence. With confidence comes leadership. And I think he's kind of got, you know, he's one of those guys that's making his way through that migration of whatever that is. I don't know if that's fair, but that's what I think.